Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mr. Richard here, and this is the Rich Get Richard. And we got a special guest that a lot of the audience members has been requesting. It is Coach J, which is a government contracting specialist. Listen up, buckle up. We're going to learn a lot about government contracting. If you ever wanted to get into it, if you ever want to do it into a side hustle, or if you ever wanted to just subsidize your income, or if you just wanted to replace your income with government contract money, we're going to talk about it all. So listen up and hopefully you learn something, get value from this. Make sure you liking and following. And if you want to be part of this community in this process, click the link in the bio, join the free class, and we can get some balls rolling. So without further ado, Mr. Coach J. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, brother. Blessed and highly favored. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
the invitation. Thank you for the opportunity just to come and to hang out with you for a little bit, man.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So I actually came across your TikTok profile and you was just happened to follow me, and it's kind of weird whenever I see people who follow me, I always like, okay, well, who is this individual, right? If they have a decent audience, which you have on social media, if they have a decent audience and they follow me, maybe I'm conveying a message that they agree with, or maybe I hit to say something, but you don't know everybody on social media. You just happen to be strolling through, and you were just saying stuff that was really resonating with me. You was well spoken. Your delivery was on point. You sound really knowledgeable, and I was like, yo, man, I got to reach out to this guy, and I got to get him on the show, and um, find out more about how this process works. So I just want to give you your flowers and say that I'm a true fan. And every time I see you online, and I'll try to stop by when I'm not too busy. But thank you for putting out the game and giving that message out to individuals who wanted to get into anything that's better in themselves. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you for that so much. And same here with you, man. I came across your content and you have your heart just like me, giving out this free game for people to get better and move forward in life. And me or you are almost in the same vein. And I'm sure we will get into it as we speak, as you'll realize that we approach it just a slightly little bit different, but we are in the business acquisition space and all that. And man, every time I see you on live too, I stop by and show my love, show my support, brother.
all right, yeah, that'll work. But okay, so I know you because I see you on social media, but introduce yourself. Like, let people know a little bit about like who you are.
Sure. So my full government name, because I know some people have alias and stuff out here. My full government is Joss Washington Brown, but everybody butchered my first name. They think that it's spelled Jas. They think that it's spelled Jazz, like the music and all that. And ever since I originally from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. So ever since then, I had, you know, karate schools and I joined the military. And ever since then, they called me upbringing and all that. So then when I started to have teach federal government contracting, the name just fits. So everybody refers to me as Coach J. The J just stands for my first name, Joss, that everybody butchers and call Jazz and all that. So that's what I go by.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. When I first
Yeah.
saw it, that's what I thought. But you never know nowadays, man. You try not to butcher no one's name. Every time I introduce myself, I'll introduce myself and I'll say, "And your name is," or if I know it, I'll still say it like that because I don't want to be butchering
Yeah.
people's name. But you talked
Yeah.
about.
So I'm Coach.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm Coach J. I'm Coach J. With the FGC Simplified community, and what we do, we teach business owners and entrepreneurs how to get started in federal government contracting. There are many different ways for you to do federal government contracting, but we specialize in the middleman strategy. That means that we find the need of the federal government, regardless of what it is, and we fulfill and execute those federal government contracts without doing the physical work. So that's what we specialize in. That's what we specialize in teaching.
Okay, then. So you almost like you're finding a home for a contract. You're essentially the middleman, right? And then you take a little piece of that pie and then you hand it off to whoever else. That sounds like a
That's
nice
it.
little get up, but we'll get into it. So a little bit about you as an individual, right? So where'd you grow up, or like what's your upbringing? I know you said you're from
Sure.
the islands, but yeah, speak on that.
Yes. If you hear accent come out, that's where it's from, man. I'm from the island, Twin Island, Trinidad and Tobago. So you'll hear me say I'm Trini to the bone. So I lived there for about until I was 20. Then my parents and stuff migrated to the United States. So I had to be in the United States before I turned 21. So I actually came a month before my 21st birthday. I was in the United States for about less than a month. Then I joined the military. My aunt told me, listen, if you want somewhere to pay for school and all of that, join the military. So I went and signed up for the military. I joined the United States Air Force and I traveled all over the world. I was high on life, man. First time seeing snow, first time seeing, all different types of fast food. I was living the dream, man. So most of my childhood and all that came from, because I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago. And then my adult career was in the military. Man, I lived in Germany for about 8 years. I lived in you name it, California, Texas, Arizona, Florida. I've lived so many states, throughout the United States, living that dream. So
Okay, then. Well,
you're welcome, man. Thank you for
you
acknowledging. Thank you for acknowledging.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're a well-traveled man, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that when you're well-traveled, I think the one super perk about being a veteran is like you introduce yourself to so many different cultures, so many different people. You're almost like a chameleon. You will almost just get into an environment and just try to adapt. And one thing about being an entrepreneur and being
Yeah.
a business owner or being a go-getter, you have to be able to just get into an environment and just adapt. Take what you can and work with it, and then try to make it work, or get as little many resources as possible and make it work. And that's just an entrepreneur spirit, true and true. I knew as soon as you said veteran and you lived everywhere, man, I already knew that you was the real deal, right? Just in that right there. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, man. It helps you get cultured too as well. I know how to communicate with all different race, creeds, and all of that. Coming here, it's been a blessing to me, man.
Okay, then. But so a lot of people always talk about the like government contracting as it pertains towards the military. And a lot of people think that you probably need like some military experience to do government contracting. Is that true? Or is it like just a misconception? Because you have military background. I didn't even know what a government contractor was until I came into the military. And a lot of people probably never even heard of contracting. But does the military experience
Yeah,
help, or does you don't even need it, or you speak about that a little bit?
sure. So I want to make a distinction first off. So there is a difference between federal government contracting versus state and local government contracting. I specialize in federal government contracting because I know that there is a federal facility in every single state, even overseas.
Yes.
So I go where the money starts. The money starts at the federal level, and then it trickles down to the state and then to the local.
Okay.
So most of you, if you have ever heard about federal government contracting and you hear about horror stories about the government doesn't pay and all that, I can guarantee you it's coming from the state and local level. The federal government never not pays, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They always pay their bill. All right. So as it pertains to having federal government like military or any type of federal background experience, it's absolutely not needed for federal government contracting. Absolutely not needed. Anyone can get started in federal government contracting with only a 3 simple process steps.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk about those three things real quick, but
Sure.
just let's talk about the broad picture first. Like, what is contracting? A lot of people don't even know what it is. Like, what is
Sure.
government contracting, right?
So So federal government contracting is simply the federal government. And when you think of the federal government, you have to broaden your mind to think more than just the military. The federal government is made up of about 63, 62 departments, and then they have auxiliary departments too as well. But those 63 departments have facilities, personnel, equipment, buildings, all of that they need to maintain and service. So what federal government contracting is, in a nutshell, is the federal government procuring or getting or buying goods, services, and even real estate in order to keep the federal government going. That's what federal government contracting is. It's more beneficial for the federal government to outsource those types of repairs and purchases and all that, rather than try to do it themselves. So they outsource it in the form of contracts. They find other companies that has the manpower and skill to actually do what they're looking for, and they assign contracts to them to fulfill it. That's federal government contracting in a nutshell.
Okay, then, and then you kind of talked about it too. You'll find the contracts, and then you find someone to fill them, and then you kind of like get like a piece of that piece of that meat in between.
Correct. So what we do in a nutshell, and I'm a little stickler for verbiage and all that, because I am a coach and because I teach businesses and owners how to do this.
Okay,
So
okay.
the federal government doesn't put out contracts. A contract is after it's been awarded. What they
Okay.
put to us is what is called solicitations or contract opportunities. So what we do, we find those opportunities, we find out what the need of the federal government is, and then we find a local business or a local subcontractor that has the know-how, the skill to actually fulfill it. And then we simply just ask them for a quote. How much would they charge to do what the federal government wants? And once we receive that quote, we put our profit on top of it and then submit it to the federal government to say, yes, we can perform this service for you.
Okay, then. And then you was talking about the opportunities, and you was
Mhm.
talking about you need to have three steps before you submit those opportunities, or that you can submit the opportunities first and then do the three steps, or is it you have to do the three steps first?
No, so good question. Good question. So in order to get started in federal government contracting, let's say you're coming across it for the first time, or you've heard about it cursory, but you really want to know how to get started in federal government contract, it's have a business established in order to do business with the federal government. The federal government does not do business with individuals. If you are a person there, you need to get a business established first, because they do G2B, business to business or business to government. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first step. Once you have that, in order for them to verify that you are legit, you need to have an EIN number. And if most people in your community, if they are entrepreneurs or business owners, they should already have
Yeah,
those two steps established.
most people, that's one of
Right.
the first things we teach is
Yeah.
LLC or an EIN, or business entity and EINs.
There you go. So then the third and final step after that is just to take that business entity along with your EIN and get it registered inside of sam.gov. sam.gov. And
Okay.
sam.gov is a system for award management. It's an acronym for a system for award management. And what you're doing, you're registering your business in there in order for you to do business with the federal government.
Okay, then.
And that's totally free.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So the government has to do contracts or opportunities, and they have to keep the government sustained, and they have to put out opportunities for everybody or people to, I guess, bid on or put in a offer in to do that. And they post all these on SAM, and you should have be a business owner to do these type of things, and anybody can pretty much go out there and look for these contracts, right?
Correct. It's so by law, the federal government is using taxpayers' dollars, because the federal government gets his money first. All right. So they're using federal money, taxpayer dollars, in order to fund what the federal government is doing. So by law, they have to be transparent on what they're requesting and what they're actually spending. So there are a couple of procurement websites that they put out on SAM. So sam.gov is one of them. FedBid is another one. There is what's the other one? But SAM.gov is the largest one that they use. If you go there, you will see that it says it's the official website of the US government. So there are so many other procurement sites, but if you understand how to use SAM.gov, the same process applies to any opportunity you find.
Okay, then that's cool. Okay, so we talked about procuring these opportunities, and we talked about, SAM.gov and all some of these other entities. Um, we're going to now talk about some ways on how anybody or individuals who's looking to do this can get those government contracts or get them government opportunities. But hey, make sure you watching, make sure you liking, click on the next video, and we'll see you there.